Hello everyone, and welcome to Bizarre Legends. Today, we'll be covering a series of unsolved mysteries. First, we'll explore the chilling disappearances that have taken place in an area known as the Bennington Triangle. It's said to be a cursed area deep within the mountains of Vermont. Next, we'll investigate the tragic fate of the entire crew of a ghost ship named the SS Ourang Medan. So put on your unsolved mystery hats and join us while we explore these eerie events. The Bennington Triangle is an area in Vermont encompassing the towns of Bennington, Glastenbury, Shaftsbury, and Woodford. The region is known for its dense forests, rugged terrain, and eerie atmosphere, which has helped it earn the reputation of being a hotspot for strange occurrences and mysterious disappearances. For generations, even the indigenous people of the region held a deep sense of caution towards the area and deliberately steered clear of it. The Native American tribes that inhabited the area were known as the Algonquin Nation, and they believed that one of their gods resided at the top of Glastenbury Mountain. They also held a serious belief in the existence of a powerful stone hidden within the mountains. This ominous stone was said to have the ability to come to life, consuming anyone unfortunate to have come across it, swallowing them up into the depths of the mountain. Within the Bennington Triangle, the former town of Glastenbury has added to this area's haunting past. A once bustling logging town in the 1880s, it saw its fair share of strange crime and even murders, with some of those still unsolved to this day. The town was plagued by lumber shortages and flooding, leading to the inhabitants completely deserting the area in the 1890s. Left to rot as a mountainous ghost town, eerily, there are only 9 people living in the mountainous area today. And all that's left of the town are ruins and witness reports of ghostly sightings. Over the years, the Bennington Triangle area has had numerous unsolved disappearances, with 5 all happening within a 5-year period alone. One of those notable cases occurred in 1945, when a college student named Paula Welden went for a hike on the Long Trail and never returned. After finishing her shift at the Bennington College's dining hall, Welden changed into light walking clothes, unprepared for the nighttime temperature drop, and set out on her way. Without extra clothes or money, she hitchhiked to the Long Trail starting point in Woodford Hollow and began her hike down the isolated trail. Along the way, she encountered other hikers, including a lumberjack who was said to be having an argument with his wife and even storming off into the woods in anger. As evening began to fall, she continued down the trail in an area where the forest thickens until she reached the Fay Fuller camp area. This was the last place that Paula was ever seen. After not returning the next day, officials launched an extensive search effort around the area with no signs of Paula. They interviewed many people, including the lumberjack, who did mention seeing her, but denied any involvement in her disappearance. Some say Paula was simply unprepared for the hike, got lost, and succumbed to the elements, while others pointed fingers at the mysterious lumberjack that was reportedly storming off into the woods in a fit of rage. Other theories suggest something more unworldly, such as the area being haunted with portals to other dimensions. In any case, no trace of Paula was ever found, and the mysteriousness of her disappearance only added to the ominous legend of this area. A second puzzling case that occurred in the Bennington Triangle is the disappearance of James Tedford. In 1949, Tedford, a middle-aged man, boarded a bus in Bennington to visit his relatives. Witnesses on the bus reported seeing Tedford during the journey, engaging in casual conversation and appearing perfectly normal. However, when the bus arrived at its final destination, Tedford was nowhere to be found. His belongings, including his coat and luggage, were still on the bus, untouched. The bus driver and fellow passengers were perplexed, unable to explain how Tedford could have vanished without a trace, and while riding on a bus with many other people. Despite extensive investigations and searches, no evidence or leads ever were uncovered, leaving Tedford's disappearance shrouded in mystery and speculation. The strange circumstances surrounding his vanishing have fueled theories ranging from abduction to supernatural intervention, but the truth remains elusive. In another chilling incident on October 12, 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson vanished while accompanying his mother on an errand. His mother briefly left him unattended in their truck to tend to some pigs, and upon her return, he was gone. Despite forming search parties to locate him, no evidence or clues were ever discovered, even though the boy was wearing a bright red jacket that should have made him easily visible. Local legends surfaced suggesting that the bloodhounds had tracked the boy to the nearby Fay Fuller camp area, the very same location where, 4 years prior, Paula Welden had mysteriously disappeared. Middie Rivers and Frieda would also vanish in the Bennington Triangle area. Middie Rivers was on a hunting trip with his family and suddenly disappeared, while Frieda wandered off from a family campsite and never returned. In the case of Frieda her body would be found almost a year later and over 3.5 miles from where she had gone missing. No cause of death was ever determined, adding to the mysteriousness. In more recent times, a man named Robert Singley almost joined the missing persons list of the Bennington Triangle. In 2008, Robert would venture out for a day hike on Harbor Road in Woodford Hollow, again the same area where Paula Welden had gone missing all those years ago. He summited the top of the bald mountain to eat lunch and began to descend when he became disoriented. Additionally, a heavy fog began to roll in through the mountains, causing him to lose sight of the hiking trail. Lost, he recalls that he was eerily drawn to a certain large maple tree, stating, "It was really expelling a weird sort of, a really weird haunting energy, whatever that means." He curled up and stayed the night next to the tree, recalling that it was eerily quiet. When he awoke, he attempted to hike out once again and realized where he was. He had somehow ended up on the entire other side of the mountain. And according to Robert, the distance he had walked just didn't make any logical sense. He once again passed the maple tree, but this time everything seemed different. There were now downed trees on the trail, and even the trees themselves had changed. Finally, that morning he was found by the Vermont State Police, but nonetheless he could not make any sense of the events that transpired. It's no doubt there's something otherworldly about the Bennington Triangle area, and the mountains surrounding this area seem to play a strange involvement in many of these unsolved disappearances. The Ourang Medan. In June 1947, a distress signal was received by various ships and radio stations in the Strait of Malacca, an area in the southeastern part of the Indian Ocean. The Morse code messages read, "SOS from the Ourang Medan. We float. All officers, including the captain, dead in chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole of crew dead. A few confused dots and dashes of Morse code later, 2 words came through clearly.
I died.
Then after that chilling message, silence. The Strait of Malacca, located between Malaysia and the island of Sumatra, is a vital maritime passage that plays a crucial role in connecting major global economies, such as China, India, and Japan. This strategic waterway witnesses an astounding volume of maritime traffic, with approximately 94,000 ships navigating through it each year. However, the Strait of Malacca's prominence also comes with a dark history. Throughout the centuries, it's been plagued by notorious pirates who roam its waters, presenting a significant threat to the many merchant vessels in the area. Adding to the piracy threats, the ships also face major congestion. The strait narrows significantly at the Phillips Channel, reducing its width to just 1.5 miles wide. This bottleneck restricts the passage of some of the largest vessels, leading to increased traffic and potential navigational hazards. And because of its narrowness and high traffic volume, the Strait of Malacca has witnessed more than its fair share of maritime disasters. Over the last century, over 34 ships have met a tragic fate, sinking into its deep waters. Unfortunately, the Ourang Medan would soon join the list of these various maritime disasters. After various ships and ports received the chilling SOS message from the Ourang Medan, a search and rescue mission was launched. British, Dutch, and American vessels all banded together in trying to locate where the distress signals were coming from. With the help of other ships, the Silver Star, an American merchant ship, was finally able to locate the vessel far off from the normal shipping lanes. Due to the severity of the SOS messages, the captain of the Silver Star ordered his ship full steam ahead, and he and his crew began to plan a rescue mission. As the Silver Star approached the Ourang Medan, it observed that the ship appeared to be adrift. No sign of engines running, no noise, and worse, no visible crew members anywhere. The ship seemed to just be floating in the middle of nowhere. The Silver Star attempted to contact the ship multiple times with no response. Even more odd, there also appeared to be no damage whatsoever to the exterior of the ship. The Silver Star launched a rescue vessel and pulled up alongside the ghostly ship, and after boarding, they began to search the upper decks. What they found was straight out of a nightmare. The deck was littered with the corpses of the crew, all of them contorted and petrified in place. Their eyes were completely wide, bulging out of their sockets, and their mouths gaping open as if to be screaming in complete fear. To add to this terrifying sight, their arms were also outstretched, as if to be fending off some invisible force. As the search continued, they even found the crew's dog petrified in the same manner, with its teeth bared, seemingly snarling. And as the crew approached the bridge, they found the captain, engineers, and officers had all suffered the same terrifying fate. Even the radio telegraph operator who had sent the final messages was contorted and sprawled out over his equipment. To add to this horrifying mystery, the crew noticed that the bodies themselves were unharmed and yet had already begun to decompose significantly, despite having just received the SOS messages hours earlier. They also noticed that the entire ship was oddly cold, including the engine rooms. On that day, the temperatures outside were around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but the ship's temperature readings were a chilling 40 degrees. With the entire crew of the Ourang Medan now confirmed to be deceased, the captain of the Silver Star decided to tow the vessel back to port. He ordered his crew to hook up tow ropes to the Ourang Medan, and they slowly began towing the ship back to shore. Shortly after, the crew began to notice black clouds of smoke billowing from the lower decks of the Ourang Medan, and so they hurriedly severed the lines. They had done so just in time because just then the Ourang Medan violently exploded, and with such force that witnesses say it lifted the giant boat completely out of the water. The ship sank rapidly, disappearing into the depths of the ocean, and taking with it any chance of uncovering the truth behind its tragic fate. Some believe that the ship had been attacked by a paranormal force which rendered the entire crew helpless and then consumed their souls one by one, while others believe that the ship was transporting experimental chemicals and weapons, and that they had accidentally been released onto the ship before the crew could escape. In any case, the fate of the Ourang Medan is a terrifying mystery, and we may never truly know what happened to its crew. This event is a haunting reminder of the strange experiences that can occur in the vast expanse of the world's oceans. And that's going to do it for our episode today. We hope you enjoyed these mysteries as much as we did. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like it. My name's Josh, and thank you for watching Bizarre Legends.